Hey, what's up, you guys? Chelsea Briggs here, coming to you from Outside Lands, joined by Luke Steele of Empire of the Sun.
Great to be here, Chelsea.
How are you?
I'm great. Yeah.
Always rocking the best necklaces, accessories.
Thank you.
Makeup. I'm so impressed.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a bit rough, but
you said you did it in the car on your way here.
pretty much. Yeah.
That's like at stoplights or what?
I did a bit in the car and then a bit in the dressing room. I didn't want to keep you guys waiting, but yeah.
So this year, correct me if I'm wrong, but 10 years now, the Empire of the Sun has been a band.
Yeah.
Since 2007, right?
It's pretty impressive, right?
Does it feel like 10 years for you?
I think it feels a bit more like 25 years.
I believe it.
Yeah. I think when the first, we gave the first record to the record, Walking on a Dream, gave it to the record company. We'd made it for nothing in our studio in Sydney, and then it just became a smash around the world.
Yeah.
So a lot's happened since.
Definitely.
So, but it's, I think since then it changed our whole lives. So it's
so good.
A pretty awesome journey.
Obviously, you've been in the industry for a minute now. If you could go back and give your younger self advice, knowing what you know now about the industry and what you've been through, what would be the advice you'd give younger Luke?
That's a good question, because I just read Joe Walsh. He said he wished that someone told him it was a business and it's not an art form. And that's exactly why I think now. Like, now I've basically become a businessman, and you have to be to survive. In the beginning, it's like, just be the artist, don't worry about that. And it's, and he said, the reason you tell honesty in the music industry is by the person that rips you off the lease,
And that's for you, because you are an artist through and through. I mean, you went to art school.
Yeah.
Obviously, visuals are such a big part of your show. So when did you realize that it has to be a business as well? And was that hard for you to kind of accept?
Probably about 5 years ago.
Yeah. Halfway through, huh?
Yeah, I think I think you just start to realize when, I don't know, it's a lot of things, but you start to realize tour buses and commissions and flights, and it can be great, but it adds up pretty quick. And I think with the royalties and everything going down, and that would be good advice, from the start.
Well, obviously visuals are a big part of your show, like I just said. I want to know, what was your very first show like? Because I know you had visuals of some sort, right? But what was it like compared to now? Every time I see you guys perform, you kind of outdo yourself each time.
Well, we didn't tour for a year, so the offers got really big before our first show. So we put about 6 months of designing into it, so it was quite elaborate. We started at a pretty high standard, because we'd done press all around the world for about 6 months, and it became this whole elaborate, undertaking. It was pretty good to start with.
Has there ever been something that you haven't been able to execute on stage that you wanted to do during a live show?
Yeah, there's always like illusion, but I'm starting to try and get in touch with a few more, illusionists and stuff, but,
Yeah.
Down the track.
You released your album Two Vines about a year ago now.
Yeah.
And obviously having that out, when you look back at your first album compared to this album, how would you say that the band has grown most?
I think we kind of, we try and get the lyrics a lot and the melodies even closer to your chest. You start to strip away more of the fat, and basically get down to business. I think we've grown a lot more like that, but I like to think like musically, but I don't know. What do you think?
Well, you worked with Lindsey Buckingham on this album, which, I mean, how amazing was it to go in the studio with a legend like him? I mean, what did you learn from him? How do you feel he helped shape this album?
Well, Lindsey's just like a living legend, so it's kind of when Wendy Melvoin was talking about Prince, she said you just always got to watch Prince, because he had such natural instinct, and even when he was wrong, he was right,
Mm-hmm.
And it's like with Lindsey, he's a connoisseur, so you always go with a connoisseur's choice. So everything that might not be right might be wrong is always right. So you just learn naturally from just sitting with them and playing.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you played at, I'm sure, recorded at so many studios. You recorded this last album in Hawaii and also in LA. But I'm curious, what is your favorite studio?
My favorite studio in the world is Jim Henson Studios.
Really?
Yeah.
In LA, interesting.
That's where we did a lot of the Empire record as well. I'm actually in there at the moment with doing a whole bunch of recording. But Henson just understands the artists, you know. It's basically like a hotel for recording.
Really?
So anything you want, from Nag Champa to I was going to say something real crass there, but probably got a call from my wife. But anything basically you want.
Say it. Say it.
No, you can basically have on call. So it's great. We sit in there and then we say, order Katsuya. Or,
it happens.
Yeah, or I want some donuts from DK Donuts or what. No, we don't do that anymore, but yeah. But you know, great engineers and great gear, and
there's a lot so much history there as well. So I'm sure that you feel that when you're in there.
So much history. So we're in the room that Police did Synchronicity and the Carpenters and Tom Petty. So
I can't even imagine. For you, obviously, so many. I'm sure other celebrities and just people in general come up to you and they're starstruck because of what you've done in your career. But who's someone you've been starstruck over in your lifetime?
Well, I met Paul McCartney at Henson,
Really? Okay.
And I knew he was coming in, so I had to walk in on the Dream Vinyl. And we got there right at the same time. He opened the door for me and he said, "After you, mate." Yeah.
And what was your reaction?
And I was like, "Paul." And I gave him this vinyl, like this, shaking.
Wow.
And he was like, "Oh, the vinyl as well." And he kind of just said, "Good luck with your record, mate." And
yeah. Blessed by Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
That's cool. And that was obviously your first time meeting any of the Beatles.
And then I was in the next studio over, so I'd go and put my ear and I could hear Paul McCartney playing. But yeah, that was the real starstruck. I was a real shaking for about 3 hours after. So you could probably understand a little bit when people come up to you and they're a little starstruck, or is it still kind of bizarre for you? Yeah, I don't know about being starstruck by me, but Paul McCartney, come on. Yeah. It's a bit different. So I know you definitely take your time when it comes to making albums, 3 years, 5 years, but respect to that. You're not churning out albums every year, which respectable. So afraid to ask you about next album since you just put this one out a year, but I'm curious. You know what's cool? In the studio. I can talk about. We just shot a video for Way to Go in Japan, and we started the new record in Japan. Wow. Yeah. And you really love Japan, I've heard, because you just went there for the first time, right? So we're playing Ultra Music in Japan, and we're gonna, exclusively start the next record. How is being in Japan, obviously, such a different culture? How is it influencing sort of the music you're creating right now? Have you been to Japan? I haven't. I know. Everyone said that to me for 20 years. They'd say, "Look, you've been to Japan," and I'd say no, and they'd go, "Oh, you gotta go." So I have to go. This is on my list. Amazing. I think it's, the way they design and talk, and it's just kind of like it really is like a different universe, How musically is it inspiring you? Well, I've always loved like the melodies of the Japanese, and we had a kodo player in and did a day with her, and it's just so beautiful, romantic, and it's got so much heritage. And can you talk about? Oh, keep going. Go. I was gonna ask if are you being careful not to give away too much? As I asked. No. No. Are you working on with any producers you can talk about on this next album? Okay. It's funny. It's just come back to me and Nick by ourselves. With Nick with the MPC, me with like my. Eventide and, vocoders and stuff. And it's been great. We've just been working with a Japanese engineer from a studio there. And cool. And so just kind of taking your time with this one as well. We've just started this last month, but who knows, right? Awesome. Well, obviously, we're big supporters here at Billboard, so thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you. And good luck the rest of your festival season. Enjoy. Cheers to you. Yeah, cheers. Thank you so much. Thanks, Jesse. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye.